Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another stream. Kind of looks like I've got this t-shirt on the back wrong way around. I just realised, but that's a good start to a stream. Welcome. Let's dive straight into it. This is the final table of the 5K Titans event from the weekend. I know there's at least one really interesting hand in this final table. Key thing today, guys, is we're going to try to see what we can learn from the best players in the world. I mean, what an absolutely stacked final table this is. David Peters, Mikita, I'm definitely going to butcher this, Badziakouski, Vogelsang, Patrick Leonard, WATNlos, I mean, and K-Rab as well, Kevin Rabachow, like, what, I mean, just unreal. Like, yeah, let's just go straight into it. Thanks, Paddy Jim, in the chat saying no one would have noticed. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it isn't round the wrong way. It just feels like I don't know. Okay, let's just rewind a little bit here because Pims folds a6 suited here. That seems a little bit tight. Maybe it's my thoughts straight off the bat. These two players probably just fold. So this player, this is Vogelsang. Obviously, this is David Peters. This is Christian Rudolph, Patrick Leonard, Kevin Rabachow, and this is I'm going to butcher it again, Badziakouski, something like that. So yeah, just so you guys know who everybody is. The other players I'm not familiar with. So Pims, I think, should open the King Jack off here. WATNlos opening fours. Yeah, maybe into this lineup. Yeah, okay. King Jack off should just fold now. Fives, not 100% sure. I think he might probably just folds, honestly. Nope, goes for the flat. Okay, so nines now. I can't imagine they would squeeze them. They might squeeze less than all in, but like, you know, get it in against one player and fold against both. Or maybe the big blind, you know, wakes up with a hand as well. But I can see a jam being pretty good here with the nines too. But I'm really not sure about this pocket fives, whether or not you can profitably flat. I mean, he's on the button, but he's also playing 26 bigs, and he's, he's going to have quite a few hands that end up folding to a squeeze, I think. So, be interesting to see in a solver, see what it says. Evolution Retro Gaming saying evening, Gareth, in the chat. How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. Yeah, nines does just jam. Okay, that seems good. So I guess button opens here and big blind shoves and button folds. Shouldn't be any more complicated than that. Dudist Priest 1, thanks for the follow. I guess I should turn audio on so I don't miss them. WATNlos with the open here. Okay, got a bit of sound. Okay, so I mean, you got to love life when you've got kings in the big blind. Ace king is going to shove Patrick. Let's just talk about this because obviously he's going to get it in here. But I wonder if this is one of those spots where he can do, like we've seen it before, where players have shoved and left themselves a little bit behind. And I feel like he probably needs to do that here with kings as well. Otherwise, you know, he's always has the sort of the next level down of hands that he's, you know, always willing to fold if Vogelsang shoves. It's 2607 1985, which I don't know, must be a good birth, like a decent date for him. I don't know if it is his birthday, but it certainly looks like a date to me. So yeah, let's see what pads does here. Okay, it went pretty fast. He did just go for the... Let's try and slow it down a bit. 1 second. So he went to 1.9 million, left himself 1.175 back. Is that right? I'm sure this isn't great, great video, guys, but I just want to try and catch this size that he chooses. No, he does. Okay, he does just shove. All right. So yeah, I think this is interesting. I think that yeah, I mean probably it's just really awkward where he can't make it any size where he then gives himself any kind of room to fold, I guess. No, I'm not saying that he should be folding kings, but I'm saying is that there could be some hands that he wants to call fold if Vogelsang wakes up with a hand, right, and decides to jam as well. So I think yeah, I think it's interesting. Maybe there's a tell amongst high stakes players where when they leave themselves a little bit of a few big blinds back, they've always got that second rung of hands. I mean, I don't think that's happening at all, but maybe. Okay, we don't need to watch it in slow motion anymore. There we go. Okay, Art House gonna bust. What a life for pads. Fish opens here. So let's just go back here because I think this is one of those things that in like the Sunday Storm or even the Millie, you'll see players defend the big blind here. I've been watching quite a few of these high stakes final tables, and based on the work I've done with simple preflop hold'em, WATNlos I feel plays like really really well, like based on how the solver would play as well. So I think that he I think he's incredibly good. And if you see that he's on a final table, you should probably watch it and see what he's doing, because he's probably doing something a little bit different. And he's folding this kind of spot where he's covered by the opener, and he has a hand that just doesn't play that well, even though he's getting a pretty good price here. So there's a message on YouTube said, is this a live final table or just a replay? It's a replay. So good question. So shout out to BCP Replays who put these whole cards up replays up onto YouTube. Definitely check out their channel because they're just, it's like such a gold mine of information to be able to see how these best players in the world are playing and approaching these final tables. So yeah, definitely check it out. If you're not doing this as part of your study routine every week, then you're really missing out. And I mean, the last few weeks we've been doing final table reviews. So if you want to do a final table review, then definitely come back and check out this stream, because we'll be doing this, I think, for the foreseeable. I think it's a fun way to study and learn from other players. And then if there's any hands that we're like, wow, I really wouldn't have done that, let's run it in a solver and see what's going on. But yeah, I like this fold. Really like this fold. Okay, so here he just goes for the rip for 27 big blinds. So if I hadn't have told you that I think he's just so good, then you might be looking at this and thinking, wow, he shoved 27 big blinds, blind versus blind. But I'm fairly confident that he would have studied this spot and know that this is, the kind of hand to do it with, but also just think about how much pressure he can put on the big blind here. There's a couple of other shortish stacks. There's a 28 big blind stack and a 19 big blind stack. D Peters has 19 bigs here. So yeah, I think the big blind's calling range here has to be very, very strong. So here I think there's a cutoff open. Obviously, 10-4's normally a defend, right, for chips. I think I'll be interested to see how he plays this, whether or not. I think it probably is just about a call. He does cover pads just, so but if he ends up folding, I wouldn't be surprised to see that either, right? I think this is probably fairly close. Okay, cool. And then should just be, I think, fairly high frequency c-bet. Having said that, normally for chips, the big blind's not going to have queens and an ace king and ace queen, right? But for ICM, with there's 19 big blind stack, 28 big blind stack, how wide do we really think Fish 2013 is going to induce here? Does he induce with queens, or given that he's 50 bigs versus 50 bigs, basically chip leader versus second in chips, roughly. I mean, there's a guy quite close in third. I just don't think they're going to be going too crazy against each other to get it all in, right? So I think that you might start to see certainly jacks, tens, nines going for a call here, maybe even queens as well. and like maybe even ace king, or like one of the ace kings, whether it's suited or ace or the offsuit, would just jam or something, potentially. So yeah, so it might even be like a really tight, really strong inducing range, which means then he has a really strong flatting range, which then means that pads can't go for like a range bet, or a bet with a big portion of his range here. Okay, so Dark Angel says, hi G, good luck. Thank you. I need lots of luck right now. This isn't my tournament, so I don't need to, hopefully I'll have a bit of luck in trying to explain what these elite level players are doing. But thanks for your comment. Dude is Priest, big fan of your content. I've learned a lot from your YouTube videos. Hope they keep coming. They definitely will. There's another one coming tomorrow, all about boosting your win rate. So if you enjoyed last week's video, which was all about flop strategy, like 5 tips for crushing the flop, then this one's all about win rate and how to boost your win rate and how to better understand it. So definitely check out the YouTube channel tomorrow. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed and you hit the little bell icon on the YouTube so that you get notified as soon as that new video comes out. Anyway, yeah, so that's my thoughts on this spot, how it's very different from chip EV. You just go for half pot, and no, that's fine. I think Jack should shove. Ace queen off, should never ever call. Oh my word, he's thinking about it. Don't do it, Vogelsang. Whoa, what? Right, am I missing something? You open under the gun, you get jammed on for 18 bigs, and you call it off with ace queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, let me know in the comments, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe watching the replay or whatever, drop a comment down below what you think about this call with ace queen off. And if you're watching live right now, in the chat, what do you think, guys? Is this a call? Let's fire up the mighty HRC, which is not going to be perfect for this by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, maybe I won't open it because it's not going to be ideal. But yeah, I think ace queen off's got to be a punt here. I mean, yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. Okay, lots of comments coming in. Okay, and seems fine. So yeah, so we're certainly not going to get an amazing read here, but yeah, let's have a look at it. I'm going to turn the mic off so my computer, so you can't hear it sound like it's about to take off. So back in one moment. Okay, I knew that my mic was off there. Thanks, Paddy Jim, for telling me that it was not on. Right, basically what I was saying was that this range is just not the range, because basically what we've done is we've set up the solution to be where under the gun opens, and big blind just gets to jam or fold, right? Now we know that big blind can actually defend here with some hands. I'm not muted anymore, right? I can see at least 3 more comments coming through that are muted. My mic looks like it's on here. If you can hear me, just type yes in the chat. Okay, it's good now. Right, appreciate that, guys. Thanks for your patience, patience there. Yeah, so this, this is not the range by any stretch of the imagination. Certainly, this is not big blind's jamming range either. And so, looking at ace queen off here is just going to be incorrect. So what I think we should do, he's opening 27 big blinds. Maybe he gets to open something like this, 14.5%. I'm going to mute it again and try not to forget this time. Okay, we are back on with the sound. Okay, so he can now shove, big blind can now shove these hands. Not sure that he necessarily does. And ace queen off is break even kind of, but making $17.60 in a 5K tournament. I don't think it's going to be good. I'm not sure that D. Peters shoves these hands either. Not versus under the gun. I think maybe he goes like 8s plus and doesn't flat any of these. Maybe 7s. I don't think he jams this. And maybe, I mean, you know, maybe he doesn't jam aces. I think he can jam. Yeah, maybe he just flats these hands as well. It's tough to know for sure, obviously. Like these hands are just going to play really well as a flat, I think. So maybe we can't do that. And yeah, let's go for this. One more mic off and then we'll move on to the next hand. Okay, and so final thing is that it's making about $41. So I think it's a super break even. I just can't see it being a call. Now the thing is though that in these on final tables, like you will see players 3-bet jam the suited aces in this spot. So if we say that he just jams all the suited aces for whatever reason, then we might see that it affects ace queen. Okay, so I think what's going on here is that Vogelsang is assuming that D. Peters is just 3-bet jamming these suited aces like I've done here, and then he gets to call with ace queen off, and suddenly it's now making $1,700, so a third of a buy-in, I guess. But you know, you can see now that if this is the opening range, then D. Peters can't shove all of these hands profitably. So I'm not convinced that he's definitely doing that. So I kind of said 7s plus ace, yeah. Some of this stuff down here. I think it's a really interesting hand. But my initial thought is that this is not a call. And we saw like the original sim had it as a break even, so. But yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear from, say, Pads what he thought about that call with ace queen. Or our man WATNlos, who I think is really good. There's some comments gone on down here. Vogelsang says exactly. I wonder if there was a... You called just to have a chance to skip the big blind, right? Yeah, so I feel like it's a little bit of a needle, right? I honestly think that. But who knows? Pads is going to open 10s. Everyone's going to fold probably. Justin on YouTube says, I was going to say maybe call like 40% with ace queen. In game though, it's tough and it's player dependent. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Whoops. So K-Rob defends here with 8-6 off. I don't think that's a defend. I'm going to throw it out there. I don't think it's a defend. Maybe he's saying that he thinks he's better post-flop than pads. I don't know. Shots fired. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I don't think it's a defend pre. 8-6 off is just it's just not a good hand. And he's covered by the opener. He's facing an under the gun open. He's in the big blind playing out of position for the whole hand. I can't see how for ICM that's a good call. I mean, let's just go back to it. Is it even a call for chips? Right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's only 7 players left. I don't even think it's a call for chips. Like, he's not getting this good a price. You know, you can see the antes out there are less than the big blind now. Who knows, guys, right? I mean, this is not as bad as we saw last week's stream, which is available on YouTube if you want to check the replay out, or on Twitch for subs. Then yeah, I mean, there was a player, I mean, who just, I have no idea what he was doing. Just opening like 7 deuce off from under the gun, opening, I think there was like a 6-5 off in there, and then he went like 3.5x with ace queen suited. It was just all sorts of craziness. But yeah, I don't think this is a call. And if it's not a call for chips, like, why would it be a call for ICM or on a final table when you are covered by the opener and they're opening from the earliest possible position? I don't think pads can do anything here. Maybe a backdoor straight draw, but it seems a bit too weak to me. I think he'd need a little bit more than that to continue. Seems like a somewhat loose open, maybe here. So Justin on YouTube again says some players will forego some of their king 7 off, king 6 off range to add hands like 8-6, 6-4 because they simply have better playability. Yeah, I mean, I don't think their playability is that much better. Sure, you can flop more straight draws. But like, I don't even think that king 7, king 6 off defends there either. Be good to check in the solver, of course. He bets here with a gut shot. I think backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw, overcard. Don't think he gets to go anywhere against such a small bet, but we'll see. Okay, he calls. Check now. See if he goes for the bet or the check. He can certainly get some better ace-x hands to fold here. He can get pairs without a heart probably to fold, so might be a reasonable spot. But I think we can see a check back as well. We do see a check back. Woody's in the chat. How's it going, Woody? And I think 9-6 has to bluff here, right? Because he has 9 high. Now, it's not just a case of like, oh, well, he gets, like, he should bluff because he never wins if he checks, right? That's not the way it works, even though that makes sense. Because the problem is that, you know, you've probably got a lot of hands that don't win if you check. But you can't bet them all, right? Because you'd just be massively over bluffing. And then you've got to factor in, you know, how many hands do you actually get to value bet for this line, and also what are you trying to target to fold. So yeah, he's trying to get like backdoor spades to fold that are better than 9 high. So you've got hands, I mean, especially with the queen of spades out there, it's pretty reasonable. Like, you know, there's no queen jack of spades anymore. Queen 9 of spades seems a bit dicey, but you know, blocks king queen. So king queen of spades isn't possible either. And although, you know, he's trying to fold those hands out, so maybe what I'm saying doesn't make too much sense. But yeah, so but I think that like there is like king jack of spades, ace-x of spades. You can just have like ace jack off with a heart, you know, those kind of hands. So I think this block sizing's pretty nice, and he doesn't block any of those like spade hands, or he doesn't have a heart in his hand, right? So seems pretty good. Tornik on Twitch said, do you feel dynamics change a bit in these high rollers with super regs, more trying for the win instead of many at farm tables trying to ladder it up? I don't think anyone on this table is going to be knitting it up. I think that's a fair assessment. I'm not sure if they if the dynamics changes. Maybe that's why I think WATNlos is so good, because he just sticks to solver solutions, or what from what I've seen is just very close to the solver. So I'm not sure. I mean, running ICM solutions takes a really long time, and maybe some of these players just feel like they can gain an edge in other areas, where they don't need to just run a ton of ICM spots. So yeah, there is a chance they don't know what they're supposed to do, right? You'd like to believe that wasn't the case, but you only need to watch some of these high rollers or bigger buy-in replays to really start questioning, do they actually know what's going on here, or not? And they're not machines, right? They're not going to know every single spot perfectly, which is why we can look at it and we can go, oh, I wouldn't call there, but let's remain open-minded and make sure we're not just dismissing it as being bad, because we're trying to work out what's going on here. Okay, question on Twitch from Woody. Is this one of those bluffs where you're trying to make it look like a value bet? If Hero had a flush there, would they really be betting third pot? I've been inclined to bet a ton more, over bet that pot with a turn flush. Yeah, so I just went through it. He's trying to target a specific portion of K-Rub's range, which is backdoor flush draws, ace x of spades, maybe king jack of spades, king x of spades, maybe a jack 9, jack 8 type of hand. Seems a bit of a loose peel, but loose peel pre, but maybe not. And then ace jack off with a heart and stuff like that. And maybe he has some pairs with a heart as well. So for example, pocket six is probably a bad example. Maybe I'm not sure you can get too many pairs to fold actually for this size. But yeah, he's just trying to target those high card hands basically, because he has 9 high, right? And he can get jack high, king high, and ace high to fold. Well, K-Rub's not going for the snap fold, so maybe he's going to pick this one off. No, okay. Okay, I can't see how ace, king, and queens don't get this in. Oh, the one thing though that we should probably talk about is, again, how wide does WATNlos want to induce here when he's got 40 bigs, the opener's got 50, and there's a guy on 23 and a guy on 37. So again, I won't be surprised if anything happens apart from a fold. Obviously, I'll just be like, what? Maybe it's a misclick. So I think a flat or a 3-bet, I think, is going to be I wouldn't be surprised to see a flat here, basically, is what I'm saying. But there we go. So I'm telling you guys, watch this guy. He's I think he's really good. A jam. This will be a fold, and then WATNlos will call. Easy game. So let's just talk about that, because I think the sort of the beginner approach to that spot is, he's just trapping with queens because there's a 20 big blind ish or 24 big blind stack behind. He's not. I don't think that he's necessarily trapping with queens. I think that he doesn't get to induce as wide because he's got 40 bigs against an opener, and how wide does he actually want to 3-bet get it in there? So that's what's going on, I think. Okay, this is an interesting spot. I think. I mean, again, I'm not sure that Vogelsang, he's 2607. I'm not sure. Does he? I think 3-bet fold could be pretty good here, actually. And if he believes that WATNlos jams it in with the suited wheel aces, for example. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we see a raise and a call, and the tens goes for the squeeze. I wonder if someone messaged me today and said WATNlos got in a hand where he 4-bet jammed and the guy called it off with tens in like a pretty high ICM situation. I don't know if it's this one. I think it probably is. Wow. I mean, what are you doing with tens now? You just can't be loving life here with tens, can you? Right, let me know in the chat, guys. Write a comment in the chat now. What are you doing with tens here? Okay, you can see he's got ace queen. You're like, oh, okay, great, yeah, it's a flip on my head, right? But think, like, almost ignore the fact that he's got ace queen. You squeezed with tens and then you get jammed on and you've got to call off 45 big blinds. Like, you know, think about ICM, guys. Don't, like, yeah. Let me know in the chat really quickly. And then, I think he probably calls it off and wins. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He needs WATNlos to, like, just lose his mind with ace-5 suited. Or not even lose his mind, just make those aggressive 4-bet jams. Yeah, I'm really hating life with pocket tens here. Maybe I'm just a nit. Okay, yeah. So we've got fold. We've got stuff it. Okay. Fold. Lots of folds. Fold tens. Fold. Easy fold. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's fold. I'm sure he so someone said that he commented and said the price of Tesla is still too high or something like that. That's what somebody messaged me. Let's just watch this chat. Look, can you see? Can you? Oh, you guys can't see this. It says, Tesla stock not dropped enough. And then this guy says, ha ha ha. Yeah, WATNlos still able to burn money. So, I mean, you know, if he really believes that that's a bad call, like he probably doesn't want to tap the tank or, you know, show this guy that he just made a terrible call. I don't know. But it seems, yeah, I don't think it's, yeah, for ICM, like you just have to call really, really tight there. And I think tens is just not doing it. WATNlos shoves here with sixes, seems bottom of the range to me. Fish 2013 just gets dealt suited aces and just opens them. That's a good read. This should just be folded round. I can't see Jack 7 off defending. Okay, so I think that's good. I think it's a good fold. Ace Queen off, I think, will just defend here. 10-9 suited could flat or maybe 3-bet, but I think, okay, does call. Might see a squeeze fold here, but also, yeah, I think call's fine, absolutely fine as well. Fish goes for the bet with just 10 high and a gut shot. And be interesting to see how I mean, he blocks 9-8, so maybe he goes for the bluff. He doesn't block spades, which can call one and have to fold river, so seems like a pretty reasonable bluff. See if he finds it. He does. Goes for this like smaller size. And Vogelsang now has a decision because he blocks flushes. He blocks like ace queen of spades potentially, queen jack of spades, queen 10 of spades, queen 9 of spades. There's a reasonable number of value hands that small blind could have here. Yeah, I don't know what he'll do. Let's just see. Does this fold? Okay, cool. Pads will open here, I think. King Jack off could VPip in some form. Let's go for the 3-bet. Queen 10 suited, not sure what he's going to do here. I think with a 12 big blind stack, I think I would just fold. Is part of the smaller size bluff bet also to give you space to fold? It's just that it's a cheap way to bluff, right? So you don't need to put as much money in to accomplish what you're trying to achieve. So I think it's always good to go, right, what am I trying to achieve here? And what's the smallest bet that I could use to achieve that if I was bluffing? And that's, yeah, I've got some other thoughts on there, but I think I'm going to go into too much depth for this video or this stream. I think this has got to be a fold, yeah. Well done, Pads. Heard he made a tight fold on this final table, so we'll see. Okay, 7-6 overcall here. I mean, okay, it's probably fine. He does fold though. Okay, well, maybe Pads goes to the WATNlos school of ICM mastery. That's a nice flop for 3s. I think you should just stab. Yep. Overcard, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Don't think he's going anywhere just yet. I think 3s just has to go for it here. Like, continue to bet. I don't think we want to be slow playing. There's just so many hands to get value from. Like, okay, he doesn't have the nuts. Jack 10 gets there. Queens, 8s, and 9s could definitely play like this. But there's other hands to get value from. 10, 9, Jack 9, 8x of clubs, 9x of clubs, Ace King of clubs, Ace Jack of clubs. Like, a ton of hands to get value from. Plus then, Queen X hands too. Jacks and 10s, I think, would probably have to call one more. Should just fold. Yeah, WATNlos makes the fold. King Jack. King Jack could be unopened there. Probably quite close. See a jam. Oh, let's run this. Let's run this one, guys. So WATNlos shoves for 9 bigs. What are you doing with King 4 off here? We can run this one quickly in HRC. Let me know in the chat. Go for it. Okay, what have we got here? We've got some responses. I'm going to turn the mic off and run it and then look at some other responses. Okay, if I was suited, I would call. Bottom call range, but would find it hard to call. Should call, feels close. Guess I'm folding. Okay, let's have a look. So this is obviously just if he jams. And King 4 off. Looks like it is a call. So yeah, looks like good cricket all around. So yeah, I think we'll see a call then. We do, and a chop. I mean, if you're in EE shoes, do you go for the check raise now, or do you just lead? Do you block and get him and get fish to raise thinner for value, and then you can 3-bet the river? Interesting thoughts. So yeah, so you're saying like you'd like a C bet on the flop. Not sure. Like he's final table. He's covered. There are a lot of connected hands that the big blind can continue. The 10 and the 8 are connected, so there's a ton of straight draws there. The 8 and the 4 are connected, so there's a ton of straight draws there. There's flush draws possible. There's going to be like big cards with a heart, stuff like that. So I think I don't think it's a mandatory C bet from Fish. Wow, he does go for the check, so he's going to go for the check raise clearly, and Fish with 7 high can just get a lot of better hands to fold here, right? Yeah, he can get some 9 high and jack high and ace high hands to fold. I would imagine that hands like 9 high and jack high probably bluff river. So he's really just trying to target ace high and then maybe like some 4x and 8x and 10x, I guess. But I can't see him check back this hand. I'm trying to think of like a worse hand that he has. 6-5. And that's it, I think. So I think he has to bluff this river, and then we'll see a check raise. So he goes for a pot. And one of you just said, no, yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, one of you just like misread the board, I think. Yeah, there's no other straight. Well, there's jack 9, I guess. Okay, he bets king high with a backdoor flush draw versus the min bet. I can't see him folding. This is So does E go for the check call, not because his 3 plays, but because his ace high plays, and then he can induce bluffs from a ton of hands. I mean, it went limp check, so K-Rab's going to defend the flop with like a ton of backdoor flush draws, backdoor straight draws, stuff like that. So I think ace 3 now goes for the check call. Nope. It goes for the overbet. Maybe because he thinks that like he blocks the 3, which is the most obvious hand to bluff. But I think like he's got king 2 of spades here, because he's going to have 5-4 of diamonds. He's going to have 7-6 of hearts, maybe even just 7-6, like all of them. Facing a min bet, like he should be continuing like super wide here. So yeah, I think that you can potentially induce more bluffs by checking here. I mean, yeah, you're not going to see many bluffs now against this size. He's not folded though, so he's thinking about it. I mean, he has king high. He can beat like queen high, jack high, 9 high, 7 high, 6 high, 5 high, 4 high. Can he have 4 high? 4 deuce? Yeah. Bluffs. So he might make the call here. And it ends up being like this ends up being like an overbet for value if he ends up calling this hand, right? And hands like it. So it's pretty sick to bluff catch and lose to a bluff. I think he folded. Okay. So 9s are, again, like I think we see a lot of flats here. He can put a lot of pressure on the cutoff, but like, does he want to induce with 9s? No, he doesn't. He just wants to ship it in. I think that's probably okay. Queen 9 will shove, pads will shove, WATNlos calls. WATNlos back in it. Okay, we might see a bet here with the jack of hearts. I think Fish can, he's got 2 overs, a gut shot. heart blocker, gets to bluff some runouts as well. You know, even like a 7 or a 5 or a heart could be a reasonable spot to bluff with his hand. Now I don't think he wants to have the jack of hearts because he wants pads to have that. So yeah, I think we might see a give up. Not sure. Okay. And here, interesting to see if WATNlos opens here. Like it looks like a really standard open, right? 18 big blinds. I don't think well, I know I'm fairly confident he cannot jam this hand. We're maybe going to see something else. But yeah, I don't think he jams. I'm not sure it is a profitable open because he's going to end up raise folding a lot when either player jams. So like, I'd love to see him fold this hand and then my idea of this spot is correct. But yeah. Yes! He does fold. Okay, WATNlos, the man. Fish probably going to flat here. K-Rub checks his board, probably. And then start bluffing with the Queen Jack of clubs. Like, it's reasonably, and like it's a reasonably nice bluff because you can potentially triple barrel this hand. Like, hands, you can get under pairs to fold, and you're going to get, like, flush draws to fold. You don't block hearts or clubs. Sorry, hearts or diamonds. So you can, you know, if it runs out clean, you can bluff this hand because you don't block their folding range, which is going to include hands like, you know, King Queen of Diamonds, King Jack of Diamonds, King 10 of Diamonds, Queen Jack of Diamonds, stuff like that. And then there's under pairs as well, of course. So he does go for it, and it looks like he's sizing it up to be able to jam river. This looks geometric to me, so I think, yeah. So I think that if fish doesn't improve to showdown value on the river, I think he bluffs this. I think he just triple barrels it, right? But like you can get like 4s, 5s, 6. I'm not that K-Rub would open those hands, but maybe like 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, queens, kings. Like never can call triple barrel, I don't think. And he and then the diamond hands as well. So yeah, I would imagine this just goes check check and K-Rub wins, but like that jack is probably like a bad card for this exact spot because I think fish can bluff river if it's not a jack. Does K-Rub check any aces on the flop? Yeah, for sure. Like obviously he'll check pocket aces, but he should check a decent number of ace-x because he's got a lot of hands like this that are under pairs to the board that don't really want to start betting and make a big pot out of position. He's also going to have a lot of offsuit, reasonable number of offsuit hands that don't really want to put money in. And also the button's going to flat, you know, a decent number of suited aces to begin with, right? So what that means is like, what are we? Low jack. Is it low jack? Low jack versus button. I think we're going to see a decent number of checks on this board from out of position. Yeah, maybe he bets his best ace-x hands, but then checks some weak ones and then the under pairs and stuff like that. So yeah, he can definitely have some ace-x here. And yeah, I mean, he needs to, right? Otherwise, like, what does he have to call if fish goes for a triple? Should see an open. We might see a 3-bet fold or a flat or a jam. Who knows? Okay, we see a flat. So Vogelsang's covered here, so he might end up playing more passively. He does not. K-Rub's going to go for the call. I think we should see a check back now. So he has showdown value, like he beats 5x and 3x and hands like this now. I don't think, and he can't bet for value, I don't think, even if he goes for a small bet. So, yeah, I think it's good, a good check back. Justin said, I love your content, and right when I went to switch from upswing to a more MTT focused approach, all the monthly offers went away. Bad timing, I guess. It came at a point when the business just exploded, and yeah, there are still some ways to get in and learn from us, right? So definitely send me an email on mttpokerschool.com or fill in the coaching application. The stuff on there, it's not just for private coaching. You've got group coaching on there too. So definitely come and fill in the application, and I can get in touch, and we can sort something out. Okay, so K-Row probably just checks here. King highs wins often enough. Like Vogelsang doesn't get to bluff all the time, and I think King Queen specifically probably makes more money as a check than a bet on this river. I feel like you see a lot of like checks with King Queen because it's like, apart from Ace High, like it's the nut no pair here. So not the nuts at all, but you get the point. And we see a big bet probably. Like, okay, we'll do a couple more hands, guys, and then I've got to go and get ready for the group study session tonight. So within my group coaching program, we have one session a week where we get together and do some group study, and yeah, I think it's getting some really good feedback. So if you are interested in group coaching, go over to the website mttpokerschool.com and apply for coaching, and I'll get in touch with you once I've gone through that application. And but yeah, so the group coaching program now includes 4 interactive webinars every Monday, and then group study sessions on a Wednesday. There is a North American arm, kind of. So there's we're studying at 7 o'clock tonight GMT, and so obviously very European focused, although there are some East Coast like Canada and the States, I think, members who join that as well. But for those other North Americans, maybe on the West Coast, they're going to have their own study sessions. So yeah, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, we should be able to slot you into one of those group study sessions. So you'll get some part of that. So yeah. Okay, let's just we'll play through this last hand, and then we'll wrap things up. And okay, Vogelsang checks here on an ace high board. He is covered. I think on this kind of boards, he would do a little bit of betting, but not, for the same reasons I mentioned earlier on about checking, especially when the two positions are quite close together. I think that there's a lot more checking, and obviously from the cutoff versus button for chips, the average c-bet frequency is like 25%, something close to that. And on ace high board, maybe it's, something close to that, or maybe a little bit less actually. Okay, right, so we're going to wrap things up there, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't done so already, hit the follow button on Twitch, and also go over to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Brand new video coming out tomorrow, all about win rates and some achievable win rate sort of targets for tournaments for all stack sizes and all positions. So yeah, you'll definitely want to watch that. And that's going to wrap things up, guys. So hope you've enjoyed it. As I said, mttpokerschool.com if you want to apply for coaching or more information on tournament poker course, and always get in touch if you need to. You'll find all the social media and email links on the website. That's it, guys. Take care. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday. Bye bye.